Alrighty. Well, we've live streamed a little bit earlier than anticipated, but not too much, because the line of showers and thunderstorms from this entire event really is starting to kind of congeal. And it's not just congealing slowly, it's congealing quickly. As a matter of fact, if we play the loop here, you can see how this line of showers and thunderstorms just really fire off across the board. By the way, I'm just getting this out of the way right now. If there's anybody who's trying to troll right now, today is not the time nor place to do it. This is, there has been a lot of strong damaging winds, and there's reports of wildfires even out behind this. You can see all the reports here indicated in these little gray squares and stuff like that. And there's just... there's anything and everything that's happening right now. So if you guys were to troll today, today is not the day to do it, okay? But we are live here, and we are covering the severe weather that is currently ongoing here in central Nebraska. We have a couple of tornado warnings, including one that is confirmed here. This is for Webster County. That has been canceled for you all, but the other areas here for Clay and Adams County, you have a tornado warning until the top of the hour, and you guys have a confirmed tornado according to the radar. So if you guys live near Pauline and Glenville, as well as inland, you guys need to go ahead and take your proper precautions. Underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet with no windows, so you can put as many walls between yourself and the tornadic rotation as possible. So watch out for that. Then we also have the other tornado warning, which is a bit further towards the north and heading towards the Grand Island area. This is for Buffalo, Howard, and Hall counties, and that'll be in effect until the top of the hour as well. So if you guys live within this general vicinity, near Cairo, north of Alda, north of Wood River, north of I-80, which, by the way, we do have the little signs here, the little street signs and stuff like that, that hopefully will help out a little bit. I can't really make it anything larger than that, but... still, it's useful for me and useful for you all if you wanted to see the road signs and stuff like that. So, yeah, Alda, north of Alda into Cairo, guys got to watch out for this, because this is definitely a serious situation. And then one more thing that I want to talk about, take a look at this. This is the shortwave satellite imagery here. You can see a lot of the clouds, they're moving about, but then you guys see these black dots here, guys? See all these black dots? These right here are wildfires. This is the risk that I've been talking about here for the potential of some significant fires. You know, I said that there could be the potential on my Discord server that the wildfires could possibly be worse than the strong damaging winds. And we already know that they're going to be pretty bad up in Iowa. So the fact that there are this many wildfires right now that's firing off as early as it is really crazy. And you can see how far this has actually traveled here for these two wildfires. You can see this big line that they've basically traveled across. And this is definitely something to really watch out for, because this is a lot of activity that's kind of moving about. So yeah, Jackson, be loose, but but if they're like obviously, you know, if they're obviously being like an issue and stuff like that, like if they say go burr and stuff like that, they should be fine. But other than that, if they're saying like death and destruction, like, oh, this is, you know, yeah. If it's like a non-comparable situation, then please be sure to do stuff about that. But yeah, this is pretty concerning here from a wildfire perspective, because there's a lot of activity here anticipated. There is a tornado watch that is issued right now. I got to fix the thing here. I don't know why my folder is being all weird like that. Yeah, there we go. That seems to fix itself, kind of. But I am going to fix the tornado watch here thing. So if you guys would give me a second, I'll get that up to date. But yeah, this is, we do have a couple of tornado warnings, and a new tornado warning just got issued for Grand Island.
Tornado warning for North Central Adams County in South Central Nebraska, West Central Hamilton County in South Central Nebraska.
And you can clearly see that rotation.
Merritt County in Central Nebraska.
Yeah, so
Eastern Hall County in South Central Nebraska.
It's a lot of counties. Geez, you can clearly see that rotation here next to Hanson. and you got the reds moving away from the radar. You got some grays and greens moving towards, so a little bit of rotation within this, but that is still conducive for tornadoes, and got to watch out for that. I have no clue if there's a sky cam for Grand Island. Grand Island sky camera. I have no clue if there is. No clue if there is. Page not found. Well, that's nice. Yeah, I have no clue if there is a sky camera for Grand Island. I don't think there is, and it doesn't look like it. So, but still, let's see if we can get a traffic camera here. And while that loads, we'll see if we can find anything with the debris on this. And I don't see anything indicative of there being a tornado right now. But to be completely honest with you, if we do see correlation coefficient, it's going to be too late, because this tornado is going to form quick and then it's going to dissipate. That's what the recipe is here for today. It's going to be this, it's going to form and then it's not going to form, and then it's going to form and then it's going to not form, and it's going to be all along this line, and it's going to be really hard to kind of keep up with. So, you know, gotta watch out for that. You're going to see a lot of tornado warnings issued, and then you're going to see them get canceled, and it's just going to continue to go more and more and more. I'm trying to see if I can catch this camera here. It's not really showing me anything, and that's unfortunate. So it can't really show you all what's happening over there. One thing I do want to show you guys, though, is look at this live view from Hays, Kansas. All right, we'll get back to the tornado warnings here in a second, but look at this live view from Hays, Kansas. This is a dust storm right now that is currently moving on through, and within some of these areas, you can even have wildfires. And so, I mean, just look at this. Look at how the visibility is practically next to zero. Probably a half a mile we can see up ahead, but otherwise, nothing going on here that we can see past this dust, this massive amount of dust that's just really pushing on through. And the thing of it is that most of the wind barbs here and some of the reports here are reporting some winds in upwards of 80 to even 85 miles per hour. There is actually one that says 87 mile per hour winds here from this system. And this is some very strong, damaging winds that are not thunderstorm associated, creating dust storms as well as wildfires that are continuing to move on through. And we even have a report from the wildfire here. The house is on fire near County Road 25 and J, which is north of Leote. So this is a big wildfire risk here today as well. And it's not just the severe weather, even though there is a 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, which if we take a look at that here real quickly, you can see how it has expanded a bit further down towards the south and south and west. I've always been talking about, I've been mentioning Omaha every single time in my videos. For the people who've lived in Omaha and have watched my videos before, this is pretty consistent. I've been talking about Omaha for the past couple of days, maybe even prior to that, and it's just been, you know, continuing to creep further and further down towards the south and west. And here we go, and now we have a reported tornado here that's heading straight towards Grand Island. This is just got reported, so new tornado, or not a new tornado, but like the tornado apparently got reported with a brief debris signature, and there it is. You can see the clear debris signature here as it went towards Doniphan. So yeah, this shows you how quickly these storms are going to form, and then they're going to dissipate, because you don't see any deep, you know, blues here, and that shows you that the storm just briefly formed for a second or two. So that's the kind of day that we're dealing with here, and it's just going to be, you know, quite consistent. It's going to be over and over and over again. But this is just a reported tornado. No particularly dangerous situation tornado warning. None of that. It's just a tornado warning right now that has been confirmed. There's been a confirmed tornado that is near Doniphan, Nebraska. And guys, if you guys know anyone who lives in these areas here, I'm going to actually zoom out a bit in GR Earth. if you know anyone who lives in the yellow, the orange, or in the red, you guys need to tell them to watch out for this day here today, because this is some pretty significant severe weather that is definitely possible. And this might be pretty consistent as it moves on through. So tell them to either stay weather aware, show them this live stream if you have to. And if you guys do want to help me spread this information with as many people as possible on YouTube, please be sure to hit that like button. By hitting the like button, you actually help me get this out to more and more people on YouTube's algorithm, essentially spreading the information. And that would be greatly appreciated, especially for the type of day that we have here so far, with significant damaging winds. I mean, look at this. We got a 45% chance of strong damaging winds within a 25-mile radius. That is pretty widespread here, especially since it goes from one populous city through and all the way down to another, which is Rochester. And for people who don't know, Rochester, Minnesota actually has over 100,000 people that live there. So that's pretty concerning, especially since they're in that risk. So try and get this out to as many people as possible. That would be greatly appreciated, so that we can continue to try and inform people. And that'd be amazing. New tornado warning.
Tornado warning for Northwestern Clay County in south-central Nebraska, southern Hamilton County in south-central Nebraska.
So that's another tornado warning for Nebraska, and that's south of Grand Island here. You can see this according to the radar. This is near Trumbull. And rotation there, if we take a look at storm relative, so that it's easier for us to see. Clear red's moving away, clear green's moving towards. Right in the middle is where the tornadic rotation would be. And that's pretty consistent there, if I do say so myself. No debris signature, of course, but there is a spectrum width drop, which indicates that there could be a brief tornado that is on the ground at the moment. And spectrum width, for people who don't know, indicates turbulence. So all of these colors that's not gray and white is indicating turbulence. Now, you can see here from the scale on the left-hand side how much turbulence. So you go from the blue to the red to the orange and then to the yellow. And that indicates, once you go higher and higher on the scale, that indicates more and more turbulence. And we do have a turbulence drop right here, a potential area for a tornado to be ongoing. And we got to watch out for that. So Trumbull. If you live over there near Trumbull, if you live near Giltner, guys, got to go ahead and get into your safe space. To proper precautions, underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet with no windows, so you can put as many walls between yourself and the tornadic rotation, or maybe even tornado, as possible. But yeah, we have a actual deeper turbulence drop here with this, so this thing might still be on the ground here as it passed through Trumbull, or at least next to Trumbull. And that might be a debris signature too. And I'm starting to think that that could possibly be a debris signature, but we still have a heavy turbulence drop, which could indicate that there is a tornado ongoing right now. So definitely got to watch out for that if you live in those areas. I'm trying to find one more thing here. But yeah, this is some this is some really active weather as of right now. You can see these massive yellow boxes, big severe thunderstorm warnings, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts at minimum, and at maximum they could be in upwards of hurricane force, and maybe even 80 miles per hour. And there's been so many other areas that have had 80, 90, even 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts in some spots, which is pretty insane in my honest opinion. I mean, anything in triple digits is very, very concerning. And the fact that we have that here with this type of setup here, this type of severe weather setup in December, you know, this is all in December, guys. This hasn't really happened before. And this is very concerning here for the most part. There's the report of the tornado. Emergency management reported a tornado within the line. No other details at that time. That was 3 miles west of Glenville. So that it was south of Hastings. And that is a reported tornado from this event. So we already have one tornado, and it's 2 in the afternoon their time. It's 3 in the afternoon my time. And it's already starting to pick up. So we can expect more of this. You know, unfortunately here, guys, if we take a look at the risk here for tornadoes, this is just barely in the 2% chance for tornadoes. We have the 2% indicated in green, a 5% in brown, and then a 10% in yellow. And this is just barely happening in the green. So the fact that we are not even in the main area and we're already getting a plethora of tornado warnings and just general rotations within the line is very significant. That could definitely mean... that could be definitely concerning, you know, just trying to look ahead here. Very concerning for areas that are in the main risk. So we're going to continue to watch out for how this continues to progress. Of course, the one thing that I am going to say here is that I will be live streaming throughout this entire event. So before I had in question as to whether or not I could, now I can. I got the issue that I had to do an IRL done and over with. Someone else is going to do that for me, and I'll just cover for them a little bit later. It's not really a job or anything, but it's just something that we planned on doing tonight. We're going to do that sometime else, but this is definitely a lot of activity that's really starting to kind of fire off now. So here we go. Massive line of storms that are going to continue to progress, and I want to show you guys here real quickly. I want to show you how this line just ended up forming. I'm going to turn off the severe thunderstorm warnings and only have the tornado warnings and stuff like that. Look at this massive line. Look at this massive line here. I mean, sheesh. Scroll bar at the bottom's not updated. Is it really? Did it not do it? Bottom bar. It might be. The members, it's not. With the membership stuff, it's not. Oh yeah, there's something wrong with that. I don't know what's happening there. But yeah, I mean, I've done the best I can with the scroll bar. If you guys can figure out when or where that is starting to malfunction, please tell me so that I can get that up to date for you all. But yeah, I mean, look at this massive line here. I mean, look at how expansive this is. It goes from I-80 all the way down to I-70. I mean, just look at that. It even goes further south than that. It almost parallels I-35 down here towards Hutchinson. So this is some pretty crazy stuff. And I think they're actually, yeah, there is. There is a sky cam over here towards Salina. And I can't really see anything right now besides a lot of dust that's towards the south from the dust storm. But if we do get some showers and thunderstorms from this, that definitely could be something to watch out for. Look at Garden City here, guys. Look at how tan the sky is. That's all the dust here from this storm. It's picking up all that dust, that drought that's over into portions of Colorado, all the dust, and swirling it towards Kansas. And that's what's also creating some wildfires as well. And, I mean, my goodness. So watch out for that if you're in some of those areas. And I'm actually going to put the satellite imagery to see if there's any new wildfires. And it looks like there actually could be a potential... there's one wildfire that could be right there, another one right there, and then another one right here, as well as right here in Kansas. So yeah, the wind patterns are very active coming from the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean really starting to kind of ramp up. And a lot of this has to do with a lot of the tropical activity that's over there. All the typhoons is starting to mess up kind of the weather patterns a bit. You know, if there weren't any typhoons during this time period, which, you know, there's sometimes, in some instances there is, but... Yeah, that scroll text there is weird. Yeah, that one I gotta fix. That I gotta fix. I know I gotta do that. There was a bunch of tornado warnings there. So... Alright, let's get this fixed now, shall we? Let's do the scroll thing. So there we go. You guys can see how I actually do it. I do it all manually. No joke. All this stuff I do manually. You know, so if you guys think that's automated, nope, it is not. All this is a lot of work. You know, my scroll text there at the bottom, below the, the scroll images at the bottom, that's all from PowerPoint that I have to download and stuff like that. Lot of work here to keep all these graphics up, you know? But it's kind of worth it at the end because it answers a lot of people's questions, you know? Like it's just, you know, it's easier for me to continue to do my analysis because if someone has a question, they'll be able to see their answer at the bottom part of the screen. And I can continue to do the stuff that I do, you know? So there we go. So now we got quite a bit of activity here. Let's turn back to severe thunderstorm warnings. We have 6 of them right now, by the way, and a new tornado warning just got issued.
Tornado warning for Northwestern York County in east central Nebraska, central Hamilton County in south central Nebraska, central Merrick County in central Nebraska, southwestern Polk County in east central Nebraska.
So you guys just saw this big polygon here that appeared on your screen. This is the new tornado warning, and this is for places like Aurora, Hampton, Marquette, Hordeville, and Polk. So if you guys live within those cities, please be sure to go ahead and take your proper precautions underground or lowest innermost part of your building. And for people who don't know where that is, that's in York, Hamilton, Merrick, and Polk counties in Nebraska, and that'll be in effect until 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If we take a look here at the reflectivity, you can see a little bit of a curling characteristic right within here. And if we take a look at the storm relative velocities, you can see that curling characteristic does show up in a little bit of rotation. Red's moving away and gray's moving towards. Right in the middle is where the tornadic rotation would be. Let's see if I can update this a little bit better. And yeah, that is a little bit better. Sorry for blinding you all. It's what my thing does every now and then. But red's away, green's towards, and we do have a little bit of that rotation there right in the middle, just crossing over I-80, and this will be approaching the Aurora area. Now, there is a little bit of turbulence here, which could indicate that a tornado is trying to go towards the ground, so we're going to have to watch out for this as this continues to move about. But as of right now, it doesn't seem as if it's too strong, but that's kind of also the type of day we're expecting. We're expecting to see a lot of tornadoes here along the line. They're not expected to be super strong, but that could easily rack up with the amount of wind damage that is across this line, because look at how solid this line is across the board. Marilyn Riley with the 10, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Says, God bless. Yeah, God bless you too, my friend, and thank you for tuning into the channel, as I really do appreciate that. I really do. So yeah, we got quite a lot of activity here that's really starting to kind of move about, and we have a new report here, new wind report from Grand Island. According to this, a spotter estimates 80 to 90 mile per hour wind gusts along Highway 281 and on 13th Street. Also reported P to quarter size hail. So Grand Island got slammed by some very significant strong damaging winds, well in excess of hurricane force, because that's the big thing here. Anything above 74 mile per hour winds is hurricane force winds, and we already have that here with this line. And we even have had that here in areas where there's no severe weather. We got this big dust storm that's even behind this all. I'll show you guys again here with this Skycam of Garden City, Kansas, which is in the furthest westernmost portion of Kansas. You can see, look at the visibility here from the dust, and you can still see the winds are pretty significant here according to the trees in front of you, and power lines are dangling all over the place. There's already been reports of damage across the board, and so we got a very significant day here that is going to continue to move about. And we're going to continue to cover this live all the way until the end of the event, so please be sure to stay tuned with us as we continue to look at how this event unfolds. And if you guys do want to help me spread this information with as many people as possible, please be sure to share this with friends and family and on social media, as well as please be sure to like the live stream, because by liking the live stream, you actually help me get this information out to more and more people on YouTube, and that would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, we got a widespread severe weather outbreak that is now ongoing, and maybe, just maybe, this could potentially be a derecho if this thing continues to look the way it has. So we're going to continue to watch as to how this thing continues to go about. Before we get into the super chat that I just saw, we just had a report here from Giltner in Nebraska of 80 to 90 mile per hour winds here from that line of storms, and that is very significant here. As I said, hurricane force winds is 74 mile per hour winds and above, and we are well into that hurricane force winds there. So please stay safe, everyone. If you guys live within these areas, you could easily be impacted by these widespread storms. I mean, you could see how long this line extends. It goes very far north-south from central Nebraska all the way down into Kansas. So watch out for that. Ruptured Speaker with the 10 says, keep up the good work, bro. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for tuning into the channel. David with the 5 says, great work on Saturday, or Friday into Saturday. And thank you so much, David, for sticking with me on the channel. I really do appreciate that. And then Sandy with the 20, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that as well. So this is going to be pretty consistent for the most part across the board. I mean, we're going to see a lot more of this where this is coming from. For people who are curious about what this radar program is, this is GR2 Analyst. It costs $250, but there is a 21-day free trial. And in order to actually get the program, you have to purchase a key so it doesn't continue. You don't have to insert your credit card information or whatever. If you want to try it out, feel free to do so. It's just search up GR2 Analyst. It's the first website there, and then you'll see a download link in this kind of weird, outdated website. But one thing that I do want to mention here is that besides the tornado warnings here, you can see just how widespread this is. Look at this massive line, and this is all heading off towards the north and east. You can see Lincoln, Omaha, Norfolk is potentially in the impact zone, as well as areas into Iowa, and this event is going to be racing off towards the north and east. If you guys are curious about how fast this thing is actually moving, then this is moving up. Guess what? This is moving at 85 miles per hour towards the north and east. This thing is moving significantly fast within a short period of time. So watch out for that. Glad you're alive, Bailey. I'm actually really glad you are. And then Ashi, thank you for becoming a sponsor for 3 months. I really do appreciate it. It says, yo, Nate, you're doing God's work along with other yet meteorologists. I wonder if this will break any records. I can't say that it will just, for right now, but if it does, we'll be here to continue to monitor it. So we'll continue to watch out as this continues to move on through. Is St. Louis in any danger for the rest of the tonight? You guys could potentially be getting this event, but not to this extent, of course. A little bit around midnight to the overnight hours. So watch out for that. But it won't be super significant. You guys might get a severe thunderstorm warning, but other than that, not too big. Let's take a look here. Near Edgar, there was a report of a tornado here along this line here. Once again, this is from emergency management. And yeah, it's just once again a bunch of tornado warnings here that were on earlier on today. And yeah, there we go. I don't see... Yeah, there could have been possibly a brief tornado right within there. I don't see any sort of appendages that could indicate as such, but it's there. Rachel with the 5 says, nice work, sure has all the characteristics of a derecho at first glance. Yeah, that's what a couple of my friends were saying, actually. There's a lot of defining characteristics that tells me that this could potentially become a derecho a little bit later on. So we're going to have to watch out for how this thing continues to progress. But thank you so much for the 5, Rachel. Philip with the 10 says, here in Des Moines, it's 74 degrees, an all-time record since at least 1898. It literally feels like early mid-May, humid. You can actually smell flowers and grass. Incredible. Yeah, it's December. This stuff is in December, all right? That's just, the fact that it's in December right now is very, very disorienting to me. And I just hope that people in front of this, stay safe. Kaylee with the 2 says it's Norfolk, not Norfolk. All right, so Norfolk. That's how they pronounce that. Norfolk and not Norfolk. Okay, I'll try and remember that because I'm used to the Norfolk in Virginia. They have the Norfolk over there, which is the big Navy base and stuff like that. And because I live over in that general vicinity, that's kind of where I got that from. So thank you for correcting me. I really do appreciate it. And if you guys see me butcher any names here of any of the towns, please correct me so that people who, I may be able to get it correct the next time I say it, so that if there's new people who come into the channel, they may be able to understand instead of hear, well, where is this at? You know what I mean? So I really do appreciate the people who do correct me. And thank you so much for the 2 Kaylee. And then Soul with the 20 says, I appreciate everything you do. Keep doing what you do as long as you're saving lives. I really do appreciate that. And thank you so much for staying tuned to the channel. Let's go back to this tornado warning here. I'm looking at the velocities and I don't see all too much that has progressed here with the rotation. It stayed relatively the same, weak, but existing. And I think that's the one thing to take away from this is that it's still there, but it's not expected to be super significant at this time. So I'll continue to watch out for how this thing continues to progress. But I'm going to start looking along the line here and seeing if there's any other potential areas of rotation. And there could be some. There could be one right here near Byron. And I would not be surprised if that was actually the case. If there was a tornado warning here near Byron heading towards the Deschler and the Hebron areas. So watch out for that. As there could definitely be the chance for a tornado along the line right there. And I'll continue to watch that. Zelithos with the 5 says, don't listen to her. It's Norfolk. Is it Norfolk? All right, so a lot of people are saying it's Norfolk. And if that's the case, then I'm probably going to keep it up with what I had originally in Norfolk. But thank you so much for the 5. I really do appreciate that. And yeah, I'll keep calling it that. I'll keep calling it what I originally said. Now, the one thing that I want to make a quick comparison here, because a lot of you might be returning viewers from my live stream that I did on December 10th, which was the significant tornado outbreak. In contrast to that event, this is an entire line, all right? So we don't have any organized supercells at the moment. All of this is just organized along with a line. And a part of that is because there's not as much energy here today. I talk about CAPE, and there isn't really as much CAPE here with this event. So that's the good news here for people who live out in front of us. But the bad news is that because the low pressure system is strengthening, we can still consistently see up to hurricane force winds, maybe even stronger than that. So watch out for that general vicinity. You're in Minnesota? Is the Nebraska storm coming? Depends upon where you are in Minnesota. If you're in southern Minnesota, yes, that's where it's going to be heading off towards. Would not be surprised if that was the case. I'm going to get a drink here from my lemonade, because you guys know me, I love my lemonade. Middle Minnesota, it's starting to push it. I think it'll be just a lot of strong damaging winds. What in the world was that? I don't even know. But anyways, yeah, this is starting to get kind of pretty widespread here for the most part. I mean, just look at this line of storms. New wind gust report of 70 miles per hour. And that was in Clay County, Nebraska, near the Clay Center and south of Sutton. So we can expect there to be a lot more where this came from. And now we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's approaching Lincoln, Nebraska. And this has got some warnings for 70 miles per hour. We got this one up here for Norfolk, which is 80 miles per hour. And this is a quote, these are destructive storms for the entire warned area. So very destructive here. These storms are moving to the north and east at 80 miles per hour. 80 miles per hour. That's really significant with how fast these things are moving. So watch out. Catherine with the 10, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And then Shamus with a 5 says, do you think these will be short-lived tornadoes due to the speed that the front is moving through? Exactly. I do believe that is exactly what you can get. But there's been some people that I've been talking to, just as a different perspective, that said in the right environment, there could be some instance to where there could be a long-lived tornado. And so we're just going to have to watch out for how this continues to progress. But in my opinion, I think for the most part right now, this is where we're going to see our short-lived tornadoes. But then as this progresses into northern Iowa and southern Minnesota, that's when things are really going to start to really pick up. So watch out for that, as this thing could really start to fire off across the board once it gets into Iowa. And that's the reason why I said, if you know anyone who lives within these areas, I highly recommend telling them to get into their safe space ahead of time, to where they can start planning. They can start putting stuff to where they know they're gonna go. So have a plan of action is what I'm trying to say here. And that's the same thing for any of these severe thunderstorm warnings. If you are actually in this entire event in general, do not be in a mobile home. I highly recommend you go into a sturdy structure. All right. If you are in a mobile home, there's a good chance that it will be blown over and or destroyed because of how significant these damaging winds are. Because you'll see here, this is from the warning text here of a severe thunderstorm warning that has a hazard of 80 miles per hour. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be heavily damaged. Expect considerable damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles. Extensive tree damage and power outages are likely. So watch out for that, especially if you live in those general areas. Jay with the 5 says, what about southwestern Missouri, northeastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas? You guys can get some strong damaging winds, but that's pretty much it. Winona, Minnesota in the danger zone. I believe you guys are... Where did I remember seeing Winona before? I thought I've seen Winona before. Let me look it up on Google Maps here real quickly. When in doubt, search it out. Google Maps. Winona, Minnesota. And that is to the south and east. I knew I'd seen Winona before. Yeah, you guys are in the main risk, so watch out for that hedge. This will be a lot later on tonight, so watch out for that. Watch out for that for sure. Christina with the 5, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Says love from Denmark. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I really do appreciate that. But we do have sky cams here for today. So whenever these storms do approach this general area, we'll continue to show you that when we get there. I want to show you guys the satellite imagery again, because we have a significant fire that's starting to occur here over into western Kansas. You can see all these black dots, and that indicates some potential areas for some wildfires, which we did mention in our video yesterday and today that would be the main significant risk here, as well as the hurricane force winds and potential tornadoes. And I mean, just look at how deep that black spot is right there. I'm going to actually go to the localized sector and zoom in here on Kansas. And you can see how deep these black areas are, and that indicates some pretty deep wildfires at the moment. So watch out for that, because there is a lot of activity here across the board, and there is expected to be more wildfires here as this continues to move about. So we have a dual threat here of severe weather as well as fire weather. Fire weather could be potentially exceptionally widespread. So we're really going to have to watch out for how this thing continues to progress and moves on further towards the north and east. Farmer Matt with the 5 says, I've been enjoying these live streams, loving the content, and hello from the UK. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate that, especially becoming a member. You're a member on the channel, and I really do appreciate that as well. And then Jay with the 5 says, anything for southeastern Kansas? You guys can get some severe weather as it heads on towards the evening hours tonight, but other than that, not expected to be super significant. Mankato, yeah, that's right. A lot of people were telling me in my comments here this morning that it's pronounced Mankato, and I will continue to say Mankato from now on instead of Mankato, you know? So Mankato. I'll remember that when we get up there to that severe risk. So I really do appreciate it. But yeah, we got massive widespread conditions here of severe weather. No tornado warnings at the moment, which is the good news. but this is still expected to continue to move about. Courtney with the 5 says, how about Grant County, Wisconsin? Let's see. Grant County, Wisconsin. And you guys are barely in the risk. Just barely. New tornado warning just got issued. Listen in.
Tornado warning for East Central Nance County in central Nebraska, Northeastern Hamilton County in south central Nebraska, Northeastern Merrick County in central Nebraska, Northwestern Polk County in east central Nebraska.
And yeah, look at that. That is clear and evident. New tornado warning here for Polk, Hordeville, Stormsburg, Osceola, and areas near Silver Creek. You guys have a new tornado warning until 2:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this is clear and defining rotation. Look at this. We have some pretty significant reds moving away, pretty significant greens for this event moving towards. Right in the middle is some very strong rotation here, and I would not be surprised if this thing was on the ground. And we do have a turbulence drop here. We do have some significant turbulence indicating a tornado that is probably in progress here at this moment. So if you guys live near Hordeville, near Polk, guys need to go ahead and take your proper precautions. Underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet with no windows, so you can put as many walls between yourself and the tornado as possible, because with how much turbulence there is here, I'm not surprised. I would not be surprised if this thing was on the ground right now. So Hordeville, Polk, need to get in your safe space. This is around State Highway 66, and this is approaching State Highway 92 as well as 39 as well. So if you live in that general vicinity, need to get into your safe space. And your safe space is not, all right, your safe space is not a mobile home, all right? Your mobile home could be heavily damaged by these line of storms. If you are in this risk at all right, I'm going to go to GR Earth here, and I'm going to show you the convective outlook, all right? If you are in the yellow, the orange, or the red, do not be in a mobile home during this event. Get into a sturdy structure of some sort so that you can try and ride out this storm, because there is going to be some hurricane force winds on top of the chance for tornadoes across the board. So you need to get into a sturdy structure, or else you might not be able to withstand this event here this evening. But this is very much so widespread. Very much so widespread already, and this thing is really kind of just picking up too. So if you know anyone who lives in these areas as well, please tell them that this stuff could happen. You know, just try and get any sort of information. You can share the live stream. That would be greatly appreciated. But just try and tell them out ahead of time, hey, this stuff is coming towards you all. You need to have a plan of action. Do you have a plan of action? You know, reassure them and stuff like that. That would probably be the best case scenario for people who live over there. But if you want to help share the information with as many people as possible, please like the live stream so we can get it onto as many people as possible on YouTube, because that's how YouTube's algorithm works. If you keep hitting the like button, then we will continue to get this information out to more and more people. So let's continue to try and warn as many people as possible. That's what the purpose of the channel is here for. And that's what all we can do at this moment. We just had reports of damage of a pickup and a trailer overturned on I-80. This is south of Grand Island. So already some tractor trailers that are being potentially overturned. Well, there actually is one that's already overturned, and you can potentially get more where that came from. So watch out for that. Fancy with a 5. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. But my goodness. And just for reference here for people who don't know how fast these storms are moving, all right? Usually storms move at like 30 to 40, maybe even 50 miles per hour at maximum. But these storms here are moving at, get this, 85 miles per hour towards the north and east. 85 miles per hour. Let's play the loop here. We'll show you how fast these storms are moving. Look at this. It is moving very rapidly. And you can see how far this expands too. I mean, look at this. You can see here in central Nebraska, all the way down into central Kansas. Very widespread, to say the least. We just got a wildfire report here near Kinter. Yeah, fire over there, north of Keenter, north of I-70. So more wildfire reports across the board in that general area. Gotta watch out for that. Chicago's not expected to get anything. If you don't live in this area of the yellow, orange, and red, then you guys aren't being really impacted a whole lot by the severe weather, right? You guys are kind of in the clear, okay? But it's the yellows, the oranges, and the reds that are the most significant right now, all right? So if you know anyone who lives in these areas, or if you live in these areas, need to get in your safe space, all right? Or at least have a plan to get into your safe space, because if you're in a severe thunderstorm warning, you need to get into a sturdy structure. There is no doubt about it in my mind that you guys could potentially be getting some strong storms. I am not sure if that's a debris signature. It doesn't exactly look like it. But it does look like the rotation has indeed withered away. Slowly but surely. So that is the good news there. Yeah, it does look like there was a brief tornado from this storm. It does look like there was a brief tornado from this storm. So we called that. It was south of Hordeville and south and west of Polk when it did have the tornado. And we did indeed call that here. So that's good on us. And hopefully people were not heavily impacted. But man, look at this massive bow echo here. Look at this curl. What's happening here, guys, is you got a lot of strong damaging winds that are pushing at a specific spot. It's really just pushing hard. And that right there, in my honest opinion, probably will have some very significant damaging winds of probably at least 75 miles per hour, which is hurricane force. New tornado warning.
Tornado warning for Northeastern Nance County in central Nebraska.
So this is for Northeastern Nance County in central Nebraska. And that might be the cell over here near Fullerton. Might be the cell near Fullerton. I have no clue where Nance County is. Let's take a look and see. Yeah, it does look like it's the one near Fullerton, according to GR Earth. And we have a new tornado warning out in front of that, too, for St. Edward and Lindsay.
Tornado warning for southeastern Madison County in northeastern Nebraska, northwestern Platte County in northeastern Nebraska, southeastern Boone County in northeastern Nebraska, southwestern Stanton County in northeastern Nebraska.
So, really interesting to say the least here with this big storm that's pushing on through. And you can see the two tornado warnings now with this system. Clear tornado warning here for the most part from Fullerton. There is a bit of rotation with the storm. If you look at storm relative velocities, red's moving away, green's moving towards, general rotation right within that area. So it's well north of Fullerton, and it's going to be heading towards the St. Edward and the Lindsay vicinity, as well as potentially Boone. Don't be surprised if this goes outside of the warning box. It could go potentially to Boone as well, so watch out for that. But I think it's going to head towards the St. Edward area and kind of parallel this line right within here. So watch out for that as this continues to move off towards Lindsay. But this is a tornado warning for Madison, Platte, Boone, Stanton, as well as Nance counties here in Nebraska. And this will all be in effect until 3:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you guys live within this area, need to go ahead and take your proper precautions. Underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet with no windows, so you can put as many walls between yourself and the tornadic rotation as possible. Justin with the 2 says, what time do you estimate it to make it to Minnesota? Sometime around 5 or 6, as the southwestern portions of Minnesota, and then it'll progressively get further and further along as it continues to move on through. But these storms are literally moving highway speed. So, gotta really watch out for that. But my goodness, a big line of storms here moving on through. And one thing that I want to do here real quickly, all right? I want to go back. I want to take a look at that satellite imagery again, because the wildfires are a pretty significant concern here for me too. And yeah, this wildfire down here in the panhandle of Oklahoma is still going. Look at how it's continuing to go from left to right. And same thing with some of these areas too here in western Kansas. We're getting a lot of these wildfires that are starting to pop up here in these blacks. And that's not good, guys, especially with how there are some strong winds and upwards of 60 miles per hour in those areas as well. You know, those aren't the only areas that are getting up to hurricane force winds either. So the fact that they are getting those winds and fires are occurring, all those fires are going to do is they're going to spread all across the areas that are in front of them. So if there's, you know, say a wildfire in Colby, for instance, then this will continue to spread towards Hill City and stuff like that. And that's the concern.
Tornado warning for Northeastern Merrick County in central Nebraska, Central Polk County in east central Nebraska.
So that is a new warning that is out ahead of the Osceola storm. So a new tornado warning here, and that's near Stromsburg. And yeah, there is some pretty strong rotation with this too. Look at that. So a new tornado warning here, and this is for Polk and Merrick counties here in Nebraska. That'll be in effect until 3:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can clearly see the winds of the reds are moving away from the radar. You have greens moving towards. Right in the middle is where the tornadic rotation would be, this counterclockwise spin in the atmosphere. So I'm trying to see what this city is. Osceola, that general vicinity, and north of Osceola, as well as near State Highway 39, you guys could potentially have a tornado that's heading on through your area. So watch out for that, as there could definitely be something there. I mean, look at the turbulence here. Very heavy turbulence, which turbulence usually results in tornadoes, and especially if they're heavy turbulence. And we got that right there. So I would not be surprised if there could potentially be a tornado in progress right now. A lot of people are talking about Iowa. Let's put it this way. Much of Iowa is in the risk here today. So if you're asking if Iowa is going to be impacted, yes, they are. And you need to have a plan of action just in case if these storms are going to be moving on through. Some are going to be more significant than others. Some areas are going to be more significant than others. But, you know, a lot of people are saying, you know, Northeastern, Northwestern, Southwestern, Southeastern, Central Iowa, you all are getting impacted. All right. So just, you know, watch out. All right. And get into, have a plan of action more or less. And the areas that are going to be impacted the most is in this red area right here. All right. In this red area is where the highest risk of severe weather is possible. So watch out for that if you live in this general vicinity. Let's go back to the tornado warnings here. Let's go back to the tornado warnings. And we haven't had any local reports here besides stuff that's happened near Davenport, Nebraska. We had an 83 mile per hour wind gust reported there, and then we had an 84 mile per hour wind gust reported in Shickley, Nebraska. So this is on the southern edge. We've already known that there was some 80 mile per hour winds near Grand Island, and that was all the way up here. Now here in southern Nebraska, along this line, you have strong damaging winds and upwards of 80 miles per hour over there as well. That is well over hurricane force, and that is very excessive for a severe weather system. So we need to continue to watch this system. New tornado warning.
Tornado warning for Northeastern York County in east central Nebraska, Eastern Polk County in east central Nebraska.
Yep, and we got that there near York as well. If we can find the rotation, there it kind of is. It's really weird, but there is a little bit of rotation here. And let's take a look at the storm relative velocities to try and distinguish as to where this is specifically. And we got, as I said, a little bit of rotation, but it's very hard to tell. Might be some anticyclonic rotation, but if I were to guess as to where the rotation would be, if I were to personally guess, all right, it would have to be somewhere to where the greens are going to surge down like this, and then you're going to have some grays that are going to surge up kind of like that. So it's not really super organized at the moment. Might be some rotation right here to where you have a lot faster greens moving one way, and then you have some slower greens, and they kind of just curl this way. So, or they kind of curl that way, I should say. So watch out for that. But not really too defined on the rotation here with the velocities, because that one's pretty hard to tell. specifically as to where the rotation is. But regardless, you know, the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for a reason. So if you live near Waco, live near Thayer and Gresham here in Nebraska, gotta get in your safe space, underground or lowest innermost part of your building. And then we also have the other rotation that's up here near Osceola, and this one right here probably is going to be the one to be a tornado, probably a confirmed one here in a second. And it's just the turbulence here within this storm continues to show somewhat high levels of turbulence. So we're going to have to really watch out for how this continues to move off towards the north and east. But this is definitely an area of concern if you were to watch this line. I want to see, so KOAX is a radar there now. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to full screen that, and then I'm going to move my other radar there to Omaha so that we can have a radar that is within that general area on its approach. The only issue here is that as we get closer and closer towards the Missouri River, there's only one radar that can really cover this entire thing until you get to like Sioux Falls. So the radar coverage isn't exactly going to be the best, but I'll be able to determine as to what's happening for the most part. Or at least hopefully. But yeah, this is pretty consistent here. And the Osceola storm seems to have kind of weakened a little bit. The turbulence is not as high. So that is the good news there. But we're also looking pretty high up in the sky too. We're getting pretty far away from the Hastings radar. So we'll have to continue to monitor that. That is not fun. Yeah, sheesh. Yeah, I mean, this is there's just so much going on at the moment right now with this giant storm that it's just kind of hard to put into perspective. Now, the best thing that I can do here, I will say, let's put on the satellite imagery. Satellite imagery right here is definitely going to help. And I'll put up infrared here. And you guys can see, I'll take out mesoscale discussions. There you go. Look at that. Look at this massive line that extends. And we got a new tornado warning that just popped up here. Massive line.
Tornado warning for Northwestern Colfax County in northeastern Nebraska, Eastern Platte County in northeastern Nebraska.
Yep, so that's a new tornado warning here. And that is for the city of Columbus. City of Columbus here in Nebraska. That is a continuation of the tornado warning that was north of Osceola, which, for good reason, honestly, if this thing does continue to hold its strength, I would not be surprised if that actually continued to be tornadic. But for people who live in Columbus and Duncan, along U.S. Highway 30 as well as State Highway 22 and U.S. Highway 81, guys got to go ahead and take your proper precautions. Underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet with no windows, so you can put as many walls between yourself and the tornadic rotation as possible. But yeah, this is some pretty significant damaging winds. Pickles Von Bryan with the $10 super chat, thank you my friend, says, do you think this is a derecho in the making? It probably is, honestly. With how widespread this line of storms is, it probably is a derecho with embedded tornadoes in it. So I would not be surprised if that was the case. But yeah, guys, we got to share this information with as many people as possible, because it looks like Columbus here actually is in a pretty populated area. Actually, I want to look up to see how many people live here in Columbus. Columbus, Nebraska. Population. And, yeah, 23,200 people here in Columbus, Nebraska. That's quite a bit of populace here. That's actually a lot of populace here. So if you know anyone who lives here in Columbus, you know, give them a shout. Say, hey, you got this storm that could potentially be tornadic, but otherwise producing 80-mile-per-hour damaging winds that's heading off towards your area, and you need to get into a sturdy structure. Because if you're not in a sturdy structure, you know, I'll read a warning for a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm not even reading a warning from the tornado warning in itself, all right? Because this shows you how big the scale is for these strong damaging winds. The impacts could be: flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be heavily damaged. Expect considerable damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles. Extensive tree damage and power outages are likely. All right, so that is the big thing here with these storms. And this is to quote, these are very destructive storms for the entire area. Very destructive storms. So watch out for that as this continues to move on through. Mods, don't get too happy if they're just talking about something random. As long as it's not impacting the current discussion, it should be fine, because we're in a slow mode of 20 seconds instead of 5. So we should be fine here for the most part. It won't be as crazy as last night. Last night, I promise. But if they're like completely trolling, you know, like they're doing it on purpose, then yeah, I'd enforce. Is Awatona going to be okay? I think you guys are probably, aren't you guys like, you know, a little bit, I can't remember where Awatona is now, sheesh. Give me a second, I'm gonna figure that out. Awatona, Minnesota. And that is south of Minneapolis. Yeah, I knew it was here. So yeah, you guys are going to be impacted, and it's going to be later on tonight. All right. It's going to be later on tonight, much later on tonight. But yeah, I mean, just look at this massive storm here moving on through. Look at all these storm reports on the backside here too. Look at this. Look at these reports all indicated in these gray boxes. This is all from the storm, and this is all coming from all of these strong damaging winds that are moving on through. I mean, look at that. Sheesh. Family of mine just passed through the Columbus area, said it's undoubtedly a rain-wrapped tornado, at least one. I would not be surprised if that was the case, honestly. Yeah, look at how expansive that line really just pushed on through. Big time showers and thunderstorms that really just fired off. Let's see if we can find anything on Twitter. As I said, if you guys find anything on Twitter, all right? If you find anything on Twitter, feel free to send it to me. Share it with me at Nate_Snyder. We got something here from B&O News. So this is from Elkhart, Kansas. So this is from B&O News here. And look at this dust storm here. Look at this. Look at that. This is from Jared Tucker on Main Street of Elkhart, Kansas. Look at the visibility from this dust storm here. That's how dry it is, guys. That's how dry it is in this area. That's kind of insane. So visibility is next to 0 in some spots. And, you know, as I said, I really do appreciate it if you guys were to share this with me on Twitter. As I said, Nate_Snyder. That's where my my Twitter is. And if you want to share it with me, please at me at Nate_Snyder. That'd be greatly appreciated. But massive dust storm there. Let's go back to the tornado warnings now. As I said, we're getting further and further away from the radar, so it's getting harder and harder to see these actual rotations, especially since they're all more or less surface-based. So if we're looking higher and higher up in the sky, we're going to start to zone in and out of where the actual rotation is. And we're only really going to be talking about the strong damaging winds. But We do have a couple areas of rotation here that's south of Duncan, as well as south of Monroe. Might be a new developing rotation there. But what in my opinion is a clear area of rotation right within here. We got reds moving away, greens towards, and then we also have reds moving away and greens towards right here. So 2 areas of rotation definitely possible within this general vicinity, but we're going to have to continue to watch as to how this actually continues to set up, because this is kind of, this is really starting to, as I said, go further and further away from the radar, and the closest one we might have is KOAX. So let's actually go over to Omaha here and see, and we're looking up pretty high up in the sky for the most part, but I think we can actually see here from this radar, and yeah, we can. So look, you can see the rotation there in Monroe, the grays, as well as reds moving away, the bright greens moving towards, and right in the middle is where the rotation would be in that storm. Let's take a look at storm relative velocities, and yep, right there is where the rotation is, and that's pretty clear to me too, because you have an area of bright reds right within here, so you might be seeing something consolidating right within this area. Let's see if there's a spectrum width drop of turbulence, and yep, there is a lot of turbulence right there too. So I would not be surprised if there was a tornado right within that area. So if you live near Plate Center, near Columbus, north of Columbus, along United States Highway 81, you guys need to go ahead and take your proper precautions, all right? Underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet with no windows, so you can put as many walls between yourself and the tornadic rotation as possible. This is moving right over the State Highway 22 general vicinity, so we're going to have to continue to watch out for how this continues to really formulate. But yeah, this is Plate Center, all right? Or Platte Center. I think it's Platte Center, more or less. This is an area that is going to be impacted by this tornadic rotation, so watch out for that. So guys, we need to share this information with as many people as possible. As I said, you know, share this live stream with friends and family and on social media. By liking the live stream, you actually help me get this information out to as many people as possible. That would be greatly appreciated. A new tornado warning that you guys just saw pop up on your screen.
Tornado warning for Colfax County in northeastern Nebraska, southeastern Platte County in northeastern Nebraska, northwestern Dodge County in east central Nebraska, northwestern Butler County in east central Nebraska.
So, Alex with the 5 says, you live in Ames, Iowa. How should you feel about the situation? You guys are in the 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, so you guys are probably going to get some very strong damaging winds, and maybe even the potential for a tornado as well. But I would be more concerned about the strong damaging winds, in my honest opinion. And if I were you, if you're not in a sturdy structure, you need to get into a sturdy structure and kind of wait the storm out. That would be my honest opinion. But yeah, there's the new tornado warning. Clearly, the rotation that we were talking about before near Duncan, we got greens moving towards, reds moving away, right in the middle, right near the area of Columbus is where the tornadic rotation would be. And that's going to head off right towards Columbus and Richland too. So you guys need to go ahead and get in your safe space, all right? That's the issue here tonight, is that these tornadoes are going to form so quickly that it's going to be very difficult to actually prepare in time. So you got to be watching out like a hawk if you're in this general area. I mean, just for a reference here, for people who don't know how fast these storms are moving, they're moving north and east at 70 to 75 miles per hour, with some in upwards of 80 miles per hour. So that's really, really fast for these storms. And especially since, you know, these warnings are going to be one of the things where the tornadoes are going to form super quick and then they're going to dissipate. It's going to be very hard for people to have an exceptional lead time because of how unpredictable this is. So guys need to watch out. If your county is called and you're under a tornado warning, you get that emergency alert notification, you need to head to your safe space. Have a plan of action now so that when you are in a situation that could be potentially life-threatening, you actually do get into that safe space and potentially save your life, or just, you know, protect yourself, because even flying debris, all right, if you're not directly impacted by the storm, you could still get, you know, flying debris that could be spewed out from other areas, and even just strong damaging wind gusts too. So need to watch out for that as well. Crex with the 5 says, is this an MCS or a QLCS embedded tornado day? Yep, this is probably a Derecho with embedded tornado day here, with how much this has this has been really firing off. But there has been a lot of stuff that has just been firing across the board. Can I do a 3D and view where the tornado is? Like see the cell or whatnot? So we would if these cells were organized. They are not in this instance. So because we have a limited amount of energy here today, they aren't exactly organized. They're just forming off of a lot of convergence. And that convergence in this instance is creating the tornadoes along the line. So unfortunately, you know, we can do a 3D imagery just to show you all what you guys can see here along this line. So we'll do a 3D right here. We'll do a pretty large 3D. And then I'll do isosurface. And then I'll take a look at specific precipitations of lower amounts. And you can see here, everything is practically a giant line, all right? You can see maybe a bit of a shelf cloud action that's starting to kind of form, but other than that, yeah, maybe a little bit of a shelf cloud right there. You guys can see a little bit of that dipping down, and that's kind of the shelf cloud that's pushing a lot of this strong damaging winds within this entire line. So watch out for that, but otherwise, there isn't really much to see on 3D imagery just to look at these storms, but yeah, would not be surprised if this was the case to where we had more tornadoes from this entire line. And this is going to be pretty consistent for quite some time. Let's take a look here at the satellite imagery again. I want to see how bad the fires are. And yeah, that's getting really bad. The wildfires are really starting to spike here. Look at how deep these black pixels are. That tells you that we have some pretty significant wildfires ongoing. Even under this giant cloud here, we have some wildfires right within there. And all these winds, you know, as I said, all these winds are just going to continue to push all those fires further and further to the east. And that's what I've been warning people about here this morning and last afternoon. I said, hey, this is probably going to create a fire risk for some of these areas. And what do you know? Low dew points, very significant damaging winds. If there is fires that start, then this could continue to, spread as much as it could. And yeah, this is still consistent right now. So we have some very significant wildfires here in Kansas. We're getting a plethora of reports here. Just saw a report from Salina that there's an 82 mile per hour wind gust there. A lot of damage. 8-inch size, 8-inch diameter tree down. 2 8-inch limbs are down. We have a semi-truck blown over Highway 136. 80 mile per hour winds in Fairbury, Nebraska. More and more damaging winds here. I mean, oh my goodness, this is a significant wind event right here. This is very significant. This right here that was sent in by Socially Awkward, and this is from their truck stop. And look at this. You can clearly see the truck rock back and forth. That's how significant the winds are in Colorado at this moment. And all those winds are going to move into Kansas too. So amazing footage there just to see them riding that out. Really, really significant with that. I'll be sure so you guys can see that as well. And then look at this. Look at this semi that was blown over here in Colorado. Clear. Very damaging here. Very damaging as the most of these semi-trucks are going to be blown over. And that's what we're expecting here today. We're expecting to see more of that. So let's see this new tornado warning is.
Tornado warning for southeastern Madison County in northeastern Nebraska, north central Platte County in northeastern Nebraska, southwestern Stanton County in northeastern Nebraska.
That right there, that's very familiar. I remember Stanton County all too well. And I think, yeah, that's up there. That's all the way up there. So let's use the Omaha radar. And this is for areas near I think this is Tarnov, Humphrey, or Cornelia. This general area here has a tornado warning, and that'll be heading off towards Madison and even Stanton. This is very familiar because Stanton and Pilger, if you remember, had the two twin tornadoes back in, I believe it was, 2014, 2015. And so, yeah, we do have a tornado warning here, and that will be in effect until 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so, guys got to continue to watch out for these storms. This line is not going to stop. All right, this line is not going to stop. All right, if you thought that this event was going to be over, it's not. All right, this line is going to continue, and then there's going to be more significant damaging winds behind this. So do not be surprised if you get more significant damaging winds. And if you are out in front of this, you need to have a plan of action, because these tornadoes are going to form quick, they're going to form fast, they're going to produce, and then they're going to go away. And by the time the National Weather Service gets a warning, it's already going to happen. And yeah, that's not the National Weather Service's fault, because it's almost impossible to predict these storms when they form. So for right now, it looks like the National Weather Service did a pretty good job predicting this storm right here north of Cornelia and Humphrey, and that's where the current tornadic rotation is, heading towards Madison. So Madison and Stanton, this storm is going to be heading off and towards your area. Let's take some timings here, and within the next 5 minutes, Madison's going to get impacted, and then Stanton within the next 15 minutes. So watch out for that as this continues to move on through. And then we even have these other storms here. North of Columbus, we have potentially 2 areas of rotation to watch out for. North of Richland, there's another area of rotation here too. So gotta watch out for this as this continues to move on through. You can clearly see the greens moving towards the radar, the reds moving away. This counterclockwise spin in the atmosphere is where the rotation would be. So we gotta just watch out for the most part, especially if you live near Clarkson, Howells, anywhere around State Highway 15 and State Highway 91, as this is where these storms are heading off towards. So guys, we need to share this information with as many people as possible, all right? You try and share it with friends and family and on social media. And by liking the live stream, you actually help me get this information out to more and more people on YouTube, essentially helping me spread information, especially if people who live here, especially if these guys need it. Because if they do need it, then this, if these storms get pretty significant, then they will need it. Getting a little parched. There we go. It looks like the storm that's over near Humphrey and Madison is starting to intensify, and that's pretty concerning. That storm is really starting to fire off. This is no debris signature here, but this is a very powerful system right here that's starting to register. It's really starting to formulate. It's Irish for the 5, says Nate back again. You think Chicago will be hit hard? Nope, I don't think it will. I think it'll get storms, but I don't think it'll get hit hard compared to these areas. How many storm chasers are out right now? Let's find out. Put on the spotters. And not a whole lot, as they should not be. You know, they should not be out there at all. I mean, these storms are moving at highway speeds. So, I'm kind of happy that there are no spotters, or at least not a whole lot that are chasing this. But yeah, really got to watch out for how these storms continue to move on through. And we're not even in the 10% chance for tornadoes quite yet. We're not even there yet. So we need to continue to try and get the information out as best as possible, because these storms are really going to start firing off on all cylinders here. So let's go to Omaha's radar. And watch out for Richland too. Watch out for Richland and north of Richland, north of Schuler. So along Highway 15 towards Howells and Dodge. Watch out for that. That could potentially be a tornado there soon. And you can see how significant the winds are within that area, with there being just general greens, and then you have these bright greens right here. So winds moving towards the radar, winds moving away. We still have a bit of rotation that's right within there, the counterclockwise spin in these storms. What does it look like for Omaha? You guys aren't there quite yet. You guys could be getting some activity here soon. But I think you guys are getting some more strong damaging winds and potentially maybe even a tornado more than anything. The storm near Madison now has a spectrum width drop, so it's now got turbulence here near Madison. We've been talking about this storm from Humphrey and Cornelia as it has been moving off towards the north and east. So if you live near Madison, if you live near Stanton, need to get in your safe space now. As I said, underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet with no windows, so you can put as many walls between yourself and the tornadic rotation as possible. And it has to be a sturdy building, all right? Guys got to get into a sturdy building, because if you're in, a mobile home, your mobile home might be heavily impacted, whether it's getting hit by a tornado or not. So need to get into your safe space there. Is there going to be a possible tornado in Sartell, Minnesota? Depending upon where Sartell is. No, Sartell is up further north. So that's near St. Cloud. The areas to watch is south of Minneapolis, near the Owatonna and the Rochester areas, as well as Mankato. That general area right there, that's where some tornadoes could potentially be in Minnesota, and maybe down in towards Fairmont and Worthington. But yeah, that's let's put up the outlook here for you all again. This is the SPC Day 1 Convective Outlook here. You have a 1 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, indicated in dark green, 2 out of 5 in yellow, 3 out of 5 in orange, and 4 out of 5 in red. And if you guys live specifically here in the orange and the red, you need to watch out very closely, all right? Now, if you're in the yellow, I would still watch out too, but you guys are not in the main threat, so that's something to consider as well, but I would still watch out personally. And then if you're in the green, you can still watch out, but the only areas that are really going to be impacted, majorly here, would probably be like Kansas City and Topeka, and maybe the outskirts of into Sioux Falls and stuff like that. But otherwise, if you're in the red and the orange, you need to watch out later on today. And if you know anyone who lives in these areas, you need to tell them, hey, get into a sturdy structure if you're not already when these storms are moving on through, because this storm is definitely going to create some significant damaging winds, and it's already creating wind gusts in upwards of 80 miles per hour in some spots, which to me is insane. All right, the fact that it's producing that significant a damaging wind is insane to me. We also have $half sized hail reported in Columbus. So on top of that, we got some large hail too. We got some damage reported in Saline County in Nebraska. A lot of tree limbs down over there. In Fairbury, there was an 80 mile per hour wind gust. 80 mile per hour wind gust. So that's pretty crazy. What about Lamar's in Iowa? Assuming Lamar's is in, or Lamar's is in, somewhere in central Iowa. And it's in the northwestern portions of Iowa. So you guys could get something. But it'd be like the outskirts of this, so probably at the top. So yeah, I'd say it could be coming up towards you. I say it could be coming up towards you. But yeah, this is some very significant widespread damaging winds. I mean, look at this line. This is a massive line that is really elongated itself. And it's not just, this area here in Nebraska too. If we look down here into Kansas. Yeah, Lamar's. All right, so I'll pronounce it from Lamar's from now on. As I said, I appreciate the people who, correct me, because that helps a long way. That goes a long way for me. So, Lamar's. But look at how expansive this entire risk is. Look at all these showers and thunderstorms. I'll turn off the warnings here. Look at this massive line. Look at that massive line. That right there is your strong damaging winds. And we just had a tornado report. This is south of Norfolk. So let's take a look and see what our tornado report here is. And this is south of Humphrey. Tornado on the ground from a 911 caller. So we said right here, around the Humphrey area, there could have potentially have been a tornado. And, whoop-de-doo, it actually did happen. And that shows you that this stuff happens out of nowhere. It's super quick, it's super fast, and when they do produce tornadoes, you don't know where it's going to be. So all the more reason for you that if you live in these areas, now, as I said, like Madison, like Stanton, need to get in your safe space now, because this is some pretty strong rotation in my honest opinion. I think this has probably been the strongest rotation that we've seen here today so far. We just had a confirmed tornado warning here. This is for Creston and Lee, or Lai. But if you live over in that general area, gotta watch out for these strong, severe storms, because these could even produce tornadoes too. I mean, you see these giant yellow boxes, and this is all severe thunderstorm warnings. You see the red and pink boxes, except for this massive line right here, which I won't exactly need, so I'm going to turn that off here for today. But you see the yellow and pink boxes, those are tornado warnings. And then you guys might be able to see on the left-hand side over here, this is a snow squall warning here too. So we got snow squall warnings here as well from the system. This system has the whole shebang. It has severe weather, it has tornadoes, it has hurricane force winds, whether it's storms or not. It has wildfires, and it has dust storms, and it has snow squalls. This storm is exceptionally rare, especially for December 15th. If I were to ask you guys, would you expect there to be significant weather on December 15th? Or if I even told you guys that, and I didn't show you the stuff that I did for my videos, every single one of you would probably say I would be crazy. And here we are, it's December 15th, and we got winds and upwards of hurricane force in so many areas here of Nebraska and Kansas. So protect yourself, protect your pets, protect your property. Get into a sturdy structure. All right, have a plan of action. But this is a rare day. This is a very rare day. I want to see here. Jeez, those wildfires are really starting to get out of hand there in Kansas. Look at how deep that black spot is right there. This is the infrared satellite imagery, and all these black spots are wildfires. And there is also a wildfire risk here with all of this, let alone. And there are a bunch of them right within there. Let's actually zoom out a little bit more and see what's happening. And yeah, there's pretty big wildfire here in the Texas Panhandle too. Got a couple of them. Yeah, we gotta watch out for this. Joshua D with the 5, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. So let's see if we can find any sky cameras towards places like Omaha. I believe I do have a camera here, or over there, from Omaha that I saved last night. That is not a sky cam. There's the sky cam. That's from Sioux City, Dakota Dunes. Big storms that we can see from Kingsley, Ottawa. No, so I gotta find Omaha sky camera. So that's, yeah. I'm not sure where we're looking at with some of these cameras here, but yeah, there's Omaha. And I have no idea where these cameras are coming from, but oh my goodness. Some very strong damaging winds. The camera is shaking all over the place. There's not even storms there yet, and it's shaking all over the place. So we'll keep this in mind here when these storms actually approach Omaha. When they actually approach Omaha, then we're going to actually watch a bit more from those live cameras. But other than that, I mean, my goodness. Let's go back over to the radar here. We still have 3 tornado warnings. We got a report here from Columbus of a 68 mile per hour wind gust. So that's a little bit under hurricane force. But that was the only one that was really measured out of this line. But Lincoln, Nebraska here, all right? Lincoln, Nebraska. If you're in Lincoln, Nebraska, all right, or if you know anyone who lives in Lincoln, Nebraska, you gotta get in your safe space now. This is the big concern here, and I know someone who lives in Lincoln, Nebraska, all right? I have a very close friend of mine that lives in Lincoln, Nebraska, and if you know anyone who lives over here, all right, this is a big populous area. You need to tell them to get in your safe space, underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet with no windows so you can put as many walls between yourself and the tornadic rotation as possible. And there's even, it may not even be tornadic rotation either. It might just be strong, damaging winds. But look at this here, guys. This is the picture from the sky camera, and you can clearly see big line of storms out ahead of time with some very low clouds over here. So this may just be a picture here. We got some very strong damaging winds that are approaching this area here. Lincoln, numerous webcams located around the city of Lincoln. Let's see if we can take a look at Lincoln here. We're kind of just looking at the ground, honestly. So I can't really see anything. Ooh, I see some stuff right there. We're kind of looking off towards the south and east more than the south and west, but new tornado warning just got issued.
Tornado warning for Northwestern Lancaster County in southeastern Nebraska, East Central Seward County in southeastern Nebraska.
Southeastern Nebraska, so that's near possibly... Wait, where is it? Oh, I didn't turn warnings on, obviously. That's right over Lincoln. Tornado warning over Lincoln. Tornado warning that is maybe even a little bit north of Lincoln. But that's right there. And there's the rotation. Yeah, that's right next to Lincoln. So if you know anyone who lives near Huskerville, West Lincoln, Raymond, need to get in your safe space now, all right? We said this about 5 minutes earlier. This could potentially be something to watch out for if you live near Lincoln. And that's exactly the case here. We have a storm that is potentially tornadic that could potentially impact areas here near Huskerville. And we need to watch out for the storm very carefully. As I said, underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet with no windows so you can put as many walls between yourself and this tornadic rotation as possible. Because that's what we got right here. New tornado warning that is right for Lincoln. And we can clearly see here on the rotation, green's moving towards, red's moving away. Right in the middle is where the tornadic rotation would be. Right there. And this is a pretty populous area. So guys, we need to share this information with as many people as possible. As I said, share it, friends and family, social media. By liking the live stream, you actually help me get this information out to as many people as possible on YouTube. All right, that's how YouTube's algorithm works. If you guys share the live streams, if you guys actually like the live streams on YouTube, you actually help me get this information out to as many people as possible. So that would be greatly appreciated. A new tornado warning just got issued.
Tornado warning for Cumming County in northeastern Nebraska, northeastern Colfax County in northeastern Nebraska, southeastern Stanton County in northeastern Nebraska.
And that's over here towards the general vicinity of Clarkson, Howells, Dodge, heading towards Wed Point and Beamer too. So if you're in those areas, need to get into a safe space as well, because you do have a new tornado warning for that general area as this continues to move about towards the north and east. And these storms are moving very fast. They're moving very fast to the north and east at 70 miles per hour. And there's the new tornado warning. So Beamer, Wisner, anywhere along Highway 275, guys got to get in your safe space right now. Underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet with no windows, so you can put as many walls between yourself and the tornadic rotation as possible. A Lively Life with $100. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. You're 15 miles south of the Omaha Metro. So I'll keep you guys, I'll keep that in mind because Omaha in itself is pretty populous. So I'll be watching out for Omaha in general. But I really do appreciate that, the support to the channel and the funds. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, we got a tornado warning, which is right into Lincoln. And that is very concerning for me because this is a big populous area here. We got some reports of a 67 mile per hour wind gust from a personal weather station here, which is just inside Lincoln, actually. So Lincoln is not even in the main line, and they already have a 67, 68 mile per hour wind gusts already. That's how significant these storms could potentially be. Is that they're already creating some strong damaging winds, and it's not even hitting the line yet. So this is, definitely something we need to continue to watch out for. We just had a report here from Clay Center in Kansas of an 85 mile per hour wind gust. 85 mile per hour wind gust. Local news, Lincoln had tower cam up and moving around. FYI, appreciate it, Shamus. I'm going to try and see if I can find Lincoln, Nebraska Skycam. I'm not sure if I can find the interactive cam here. Looking northwest, looking south, looking east, looking northeast.
Tornado warning for Northeastern Dickinson County in central Kansas, Northwestern Geary County in east central Kansas, Southwestern Riley County in northeastern Kansas.
This is in Kansas. And a new tornado warning just got issued.
Tornado warning for east central Madison County in northeastern Nebraska, southwestern Wayne County in northeastern Nebraska, northern Stanton County in northeastern Nebraska.
Wow. So there's a new tornado warning that's approaching Manhattan, Kansas. I know there's a Skycam over there. Hold up. I know there's a sky camera over there. I've covered Kansas so many times to the point where I know there's a sky camera over there, and that's approaching Manhattan. You can see Manhattan's right here. And look at that. You can actually see potentially a little bit of a jutting of the clouds right here, indicating a bit of a wall cloud, maybe a bit of a mesocyclone enveloped within this line. So potentially an area of rotation right here as it approaches towards Manhattan, Kansas. So a new tornado warning here for the city of Manhattan in Kansas. Guys, if you live over there, gotta be in your safe space. As I said, underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet with no windows, so you can put as many walls between yourself and the tornadic rotation as possible. I mean, just look at that. You can clearly see it kind of edges out, so there's a little bit of rotation within the cloud base right within here. And we'll come back to this camera as this continues to move on through in towards this general vicinity. But let's take a look a bit more at the tornado warning that was in northeastern Nebraska again. And this was this right here for Stanton. So this is for Stanton, Windside, and Hoskins. And this will be in effect until the top of the hour, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we got tornadic rotation within this. So it's not confirmed. We don't have a tornado warning right now. But, or a tornado on the ground right now, but we do have a tornado warning indicated in this red box. And so if you live near Stanton, Pilger, Windside, Wayne, need to get in your safe space right now, underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet. The velocities here show a lot of reds moving away from the radar and greens moving towards, so this counterclockwise spin here is where the tornadic rotation would be if I were watching this, and that is exactly what I see here. Taking a look at the reflectivity, you can see how pretty significant some of the rain is with some of these dark reds and pinks in even some spots towards the south and east. So we got a lot of strong damaging winds expected with these storms. And this is going to be moving off towards the north and east. So Wisner, Pender, as well as Thurston, and then eventually towards areas of Dakota City and Sioux City very far ahead of time. But this is going to be moving off into that general area probably in about 45 minutes. And we have a sky camera over there that we're going to be using too. So watch out for that. But these storms are moving to the north and east at around 60 to 70 miles per hour. And these storms are moving highway speed, guys. So all the more reason for you guys to not be outside and watch these storms, because these storms are going to be moving super fast. And you need to get in your safe space. As I said, underground or lowest innermost part of your building, particularly a bathroom or a closet, and it has to be a sturdy building, because if you are in a mobile home, I guarantee you there could be heavy damage on it. All right, I guarantee you will not be safe. There's some reports from this tornado warning down here near Howells of a 76 mile per hour wind gust here. This is near Howells, and it had a 76 mile per hour wind gust. That's hurricane force winds right within that line. So we know that hurricane force winds is still possible along this entire line, and I'm pretty sure that's been very consistent for quite some time too. So we need to continue to watch out for this, because it's not just the tornadoes, it's the entire line. That's how expansive this is. I mean, look at this. This extends all the way down to north of Wichita, and this is just a big area to watch out for. We have another tornado warning here that is north of Junction City and north of Manhattan. Junction City is actually getting a big storm at the moment. Let's listen in.
Tornado warning for West Central Riley County in northeastern Kansas, northwestern Pottawatomie County in northeastern Kansas.
Yep, and that is north of Manhattan there. You can clearly see on the velocities, green's moving towards the radar, red's moving away. Right in the middle is where the tornadic rotation would be. This counterclockwise spin is what we are looking for, and we do indeed have that. I'm going to try and see if there's any turbulence here from the spectrum width, which turbulence typically indicates that there could be a tornado on the ground, and there is a little bit, but there is not a whole lot for me to say that there is an actual tornado on the ground at this time. So that is the good news with this event. I want to go quickly over to see Junction City. And look at this. This is Junction City right now. Look at this massive line of storms that are surging on through. Look at this. This is looking at the tornado warning right now in Junction City, Kansas. And I mean, just look at how fast these clouds are racing. And we can see some defined lowerings here within some of these spots. Pretty low. These are pretty low to the ground, in my honest opinion. And this is going to be some very strong winds that are going to be moving on through. We might see a very interesting point of view here on the live camera. Crystal with the 5 says, very windy in Waynesville, Missouri. Do you know if the winds will get worse or if we will see any severe weather? Thank you for doing what you do. Waynesville, Missouri. Waynesville, Missouri is located in south central Missouri. I don't think you guys are going to get so much severe weather. You're not going to get too much, but you guys are expected to get some. So watch out for that, but I don't think it's going to be anything super tornadic. I think it'll be more of a damaging wind and possibly hail threat. But we're going to watch this for a little bit longer.